Johnson here. Good Wednesday morning. Beautiful Wednesday morning now. Just leaving the Brooklyn Bridge City Hall station, leaving the station right now on this beautiful Wednesday morning. Always, it's like a sauna inside the station. And today, it's going to be two events. I'm a little here early because it's when there's events like these, there's media around, and when there's media around, there are people like nonprofits and advocacy organizations and all these other outfits. They try their best to get their causes heard on camera because the cameras are around. So today at 11 o'clock, there's going to be a rally at Foley Square with all the corrupt working families party related nonprofits like Make the Road New York, the DSA, Community Voices Heard, Investor New York, and all these crazy ass nonprofits that get government money to fuck up the city and damage the city and intimidate elected officials and to passing bills, introducing bills and passing bills that majority of people would not approve. And so basically, that's happened at 11 o'clock. And at 1 o'clock, there's going to be a press conference right on steps. I'm not getting in. They won't let me in. I'm a press pass. Even they will not let me on my press pass because they can be like, they can't do that shit. Let's with the mayor. There's going to be a press conference at 1 o'clock on those steps right there with David Paterson, the former governor of New York. David Paterson, the legally blind former governor. He's legally blind. Endorsing Eric Adams. Now, let me give my opinion about that. I'm gonna give my opinion. I think that endorsement won't do anything. It won't shake any. It won't pull any of the strings and pull no weight in this general election because I think everybody know about the election, the polling, this recent polling, that Madani's polling first, Cuomo's polling second, and Sweet's polling third, and who's dead last is Mr. Eric Adams. I believe that there's certain people that's on the internet saying that Eric should drop out. My opinion is that he should have been dropped out. He should never ran. But Eric has an ego. Eric's ego is inflated, and he feels that he could win this he could win a re-election through the help of his boys and gals in the mayor's office, and with that budget that the city council unanimously supported for the FY26 budget. And the reason they unanimously supported that budget was because they're trying to get Zohran Mamdani into the mayor's office, and those members know that they need to drive as much money they can to those nonprofits to really help secure that win. So it's basically, in a nutshell, these council members cannot protest. They couldn't protest the budget because they got to make sure that Mamdani actually wins that general election. Let's keep that 100%. So now, when I'm here outside, the reason I'm outside right now because I'm a little early. I'm always like to be early because these trains be fucked up. And then I like to see what's going on in the area because, like I said, it's going to be crazy media events today. 2 media events with Eric Adams being endorsed by David Paterson and Then you're gonna have what's his name? Then you have the Working Families Party rally at 11 o'clock of Foley Square. So, so basically, right here, still want to show this. We're live on a beautiful Wednesday morning. We're live at City Hall, and right here, guys, is the Deliverista Hub newsstand that supposed to be turned into a Deliverista Hub. So basically, right here, you see the work permit for do the wiring. That's gonna take months to do wiring. To do wiring, it takes months. People think that shit takes like it takes days. No, it takes months to do any type of wiring for electric stuff. It takes months, especially shit like this. It takes months. I used to work commercial buildings. I used to work as a security guard for a commercial building, like big time. And electricians will tell you that shit takes time to do a basic circuit change. This shit takes hours to do a circuit change. So it takes time to do circuit changes. So basically, this is what I'm gonna talk right now. The reason I'm showing this hub because basically what the plan is that it's been approved by the city. I didn't support it, and the reason I didn't support it because of the community board didn't want it, and they didn't want this stuff, but it just happens. But they got approved by the city. So basically, this is gonna be built in a few months, probably by 2026. But here, I want to talk about this bill because I'm surprised I don't see a truck out here. But they probably wait till tomorrow, or they're gonna probably wait till tomorrow bring this truck out here. So basically, there's a campaign that is going on right now. To stop intro 1135 in the city council. Intro 1135 is basically a bill where that is introduced by Councilman Sandy Nurse, who served the 37th councilman of the district. And basically, it got approved by the city council by like 31. I think like 31 people approved it. It was a veto majority. So like 34 approved it. Over 34 people approved it. So members approved it. So the bill will require Instacart to pay the Deliveristas minimum wage. Now, like I said, this is my opinion. This is my thing. This is my stance, right? I'm gonna be disclaimer, and I always have the disclaimer that I am not against people making a living wage in the city. I am not against that. I'm not against that. I'm not the type of guy that I'll own a business and I become a multi-millionaire and billionaire and I refuse to give somebody $1 more. I'm not that type of person. I have no problem giving people $1 more or $5 more. But you know what happens is that the way that the shit got rolled out with the minimum wage, and I said this, was, and a lot of people in the city said this, was wrong. The rollout was really wrong and incorrect. And the reason it was wrong and incorrect because of the fact that I said this 2 years ago, and people said this like, yo, this is gonna hurt everybody. This is gonna hurt take a picture of this shit. So this bill will hurt the worker because it will make them, it will fuck up their chance of making real money. It will hurt the customer because they gotta pay more money to these apps. And it hurts the company in the whole because they're forced to shell out more money than they shouldn't have to. And a lot of these companies like Uber and DoorDash and Grubhub don't make that amount of money in the Deliverista. When it comes to delivering food, they don't make a real profit margin. None of these companies make a real profit. So when you force these guys to do minimum wage, you fuck up the profit margins. And I want to explain this here that we won't walk. I'm gonna walk right now. This live. I'm live, so I'm gonna go live. I'm gonna walk right now to live because we're live, and I want to show you something where of how this minimum wage has hurt everybody in the process, and it's mainly those deliveristas. Because what happened was 2 years ago, and I was out there for that lawsuit. That day, that shit, and it was a fucked up day. It was a day where, that's a day where no matter what, I still will always have to take the full brunt of the blame. And I'm not proud of that. But at the same time, I'm not ashamed because I'm not here to throw anybody under the bus for what other people do. Sometimes it's like in life when you are a leader or you want to call yourself a leader or you are like a public figure that leads things. Even if 10,000 people destroy the city, you as a league got to take the blame for the whole thing they did. And it's kind of like hard to do. It's a tough pill to swallow, but sometimes that's the thing of life, right? Of being a leader. It's like when it's like, let's say you lead 10 people and those 10 people fuck up. You as a league got to take the blame for everything they done. And that means that you have to take all their shit. You have to take the blame for all what they done. You can't throw it on the bus. You can't say that, oh, they should go down with you. Sometimes you gotta go down yourself. And that's what happened. And I'm not ashamed of that. So going forward, with this, because of that, the apps try to sue the city to block the minimum wage, and they pulled out because they saw that the city had every right to do this, mandate the city pay a living wage, and they pulled out the lawsuit, and the Liberties won the law. They won the battle, and I'm not really mad about that, but I've been saying this, like, this is going to open up a can of worms that will be hard to put back in. So you know what happened was the app said, okay, we'll pay minimum wage. We're not that heartless, we're not that heartless, and we will pay the minimum wage because we're not that heartless, unlike you people think we are. But what's going to happen is, the order to get that minimum wage an hour, like that time was like $19 an hour, now it's like 22, 21.44. You're going to have to do, a delivery still have to do a certain amount of deliveries per hour to get paid. So let's say the quota is about 8 deliveries an hour. What do you think those guys going to do? If they got to do 8 deliveries in 1 hour, and they mandate doing a certain radius in a certain amount of time. You know what's going to happen, guys? You know what's going to happen is that those guys and gals are going to do whatever they got to do to fulfill that quota. Because once you don't fulfill that quota, you don't get paid. You ask a lot of deliveries, so they'll tell you the same thing. So those guys now and gals who deliver the food go to the point of blowing red lights, breaking every law they can break to fulfill those deliveries to where people getting hurt, maimed, and even killed. So you know what happened was a lot of people start complaining to the mayor, to now the commissioner, now commissioner Jessica Tisch. And you know who else complained about that was her mother. And what happened was, now her mother, and what happened was, her mother complained, Jessica Tisch, the commissioner, the now police commissioner, Jessica Tisch, the Nepo baby. She complained, and what happened was, Jessica Tisch changed the rule with the NYPD to start giving everybody who breaks a law with a bike and an e-bike a Class C summons. So a Class C summons is basically that's what they give drivers when they fuck up. So you know what happens when you get a Class C summons? You got to go up here, 16th floor, 1 Citrus Street, 16th floor, to see a judge because you went a 16 on a, and the law is where if you ride an e-bike, you can't go over 15 miles an hour. So imagine now you got to take a whole day out of your whole day to go to court to see a judge because you went 1 mile over 15. And I would say before, I went live on this video. I went live on this. And I showed before where there's a lot, most people out there are black, Asian, and Latino. Black, Asian, Latinos that usually are in those courthouses. But that's the thing, that's the truth. That majority of people that are there are mostly black, Asian, and Latino. So mostly minorities that are occupying those courts. And it's all done by design. It's all systematically done by design. Systematically racial designation of court makeup. And it's crazy why the hell you should go to court to see a judge because you went 1 mile over 16 miles an hour. But this is what happens when you put a minimum wage. This is what happens when you advocate for minimum wage, knowing that the apps are going to retaliate. And the thing about it is that the apps will always retaliate. And the thing about, like I said before, 2 years ago, about Ligia and all those people said, look, if TWA has an issue with the Uber and Lyft retaliating against the drivers and deactivating their accounts unlawfully because they advocate for minimum wage for taxi drivers, right? Things like minimum wage for taxi drivers is not bad. I understand they got paid gas, all that type of shit. It's a lot of money. If Uber and Lyft retaliated, like, what do you think they're gonna do to you guys? They're gonna do the same shit and retaliate. So y'all couldn't get mad when they retaliated and say, okay, we'll pay you guys minimum wage, but we're gonna make you guys do mandated minutes. This is where you gotta go when you get a Class C summons. This is where you gotta go when, well, let's say, yeah, like, why you guys are upset? Why you guys are upset about this? You guys opened up the can of worms, and the thing about it was a lot of these deliveries was against the bill. But you know what happens is the problem with the city government is that the city government only listens to nonprofits. And the nonprofits always get the say, and whatever they say goes. So the city council only listens to those nonprofits, and they don't listen to those nonprofits, and look what happened. Look what happened. They made those bills law, but they could only blame themselves. They could have only blamed themselves for that. And thank God I was against the bill when I had a chance to testify. I said, this is bullshit. They should be paying. I'm not against the living wage, but the rollout was done wrong. It was always going to be done wrong. Where it should be an option to pay minimum wage. Where it should be an option of where if you want a minimum wage, okay, do the minimum of deliveries you need to do to get paid. But if you work on tips, work on tips. You can work how you want to work. You can deliver how you want to deliver, and that's it. It should be optional. It shouldn't be mandated, but they made it mandated to every delivery store to get paid a minimum wage. So with Instacart, now they're trying to fight it because they know that once this happens, there's money, and they're going to be forced to put their workers into great danger. And they know that. Now, recently, today is technically tomorrow's the last day the mayor could, like I said, veto, sign the bill to law, or make the bill go into law without signing the bill. Now, a big big power player has jumped into the fight of trying to make sure that this bill don't go through, and his name is Al Sharpton. Now, Al Sharpton said, like, yo, this is gonna, it's a basic copy and paste, like, we'll pay you X amount of money to put your name behind this article shit, the AM New York crap. But the thing about Al Sharpton was saying hers is so stupid because she doesn't have, her district is not full of those black folk where they go by what everything that Sharpton says. So Sharpton is a real powerful guy. Al Sharpton is a guy that is a political operative of the Democratic Party. He's a political operative of the Democratic Party. Big time political operative of the Democratic Party, right? Big time political operative. Big time guy. And Al Sharpton owns the black vote, the black boomer vote in New York City. He owns that black boomer vote in New York City. He owns that vote. So recently, these elected officials, like, so it's just like, and he does everything for the money. It's all about the money with the guy. He does it for the money. He doesn't do it for clout. He does it for money. And he got paid to put his name behind an article and say he supports telling the mayor to veto the bill, right? Let's make this clear. Right, let's make this clear. Like I said before, my other videos, I said, let's make this clear, right? I'm not surprised he did this. Like I said, it's just what it is. I'll make this clear. I'm gonna go live on this. I'm gonna try to change the title and shit, whatever. That look, if this bill was to go through, I will not get upset because it's the law. It's what it is. If this bill were to go through, I will not fight against the lawsuit. I'll make that clear. If this bill was to be vetoed, I will do whatever I gotta do to make sure this bill gets overwritten in the city council. Now, speaking of overrides in the city council, and I want to talk about this right now, and I want to talk about this, and I want to be real transparent and clear about what happened last night, about in the Bronx. So yesterday, and I'll make this clear, I'm live, and last night I saw a post by Christy Marmorato, and she had a campaign kickoff opening, right? Okay, she's running for re-election against Shirley Abido. I think she's surely gonna win this. And what happened was that I'm from Brooklyn, and I was gonna see what it was about. I went up there to see what it was about, and I went, recorded it, and then suddenly when they had a press conference, the campaign opening, David Rim and Raul popped up. Now, they said that, oh, Raul planned it. We didn't plan anything out. I didn't know he was coming. And then you got to understand that Raul lives not that far from that area. That's his district. But I'm gonna make this clear that I saw that they was loud. They be real condescending and laughing and all this type of stupid shit. And let's make this clear that, like I said to Christy, people, I say, look, you can laugh all you want, but it wasn't funny when Adrienne Adams said that she was gonna go back, she was gonna drag her council members and override that mayor veto. You see how they looked. It wasn't funny then. Because like I said, they can laugh all they want, but it wasn't funny. But Raul said a lot of things yesterday, and he was right. And I made this good about Raul. Raul, my guy, and he was right. And I said, look, he was right about Christie. He was right about how he approached it and why he was out there. This is my thing, right? Still trying to see what's going on in the area. When you, as a council member or any elected official, start ignoring constituents And you gotta remember, Raul's a constituent of the 13th district. She could talk shit about him all she want, but he's a constituent of the 13th council matter district. And it's your duty to listen to every constituent as possible. But I said this a long time ago. I said, look, Chrissy only listens to those old racist white folk that helped really get her into city council. But yesterday is what happens when you ignore people. When you ignore people and you be all condescending and arrogant, this is what happens. Yeah, Justin Brannon right there, Justin Brannon right there and shit. But I said that's what happens when you ignore your constituents. When you ignore your constituents, that's what happens last night. And I don't tell him, I will never feel bad for Raul doing that. Raul did the right thing. Like I said, he said a lot. And the thing about it is that there could be a lot of worse people out there. Oh wow, that's Justin Brannon and his chief of staff. Kayla's former chief of staff, Kayla and Justin Brannon right there. What's up, guys? Hey, what's up? How you doing? What's up, Brandon? So what do you think about, what do you gonna do, the OMB job? What are you trying to do with the administration, OMB or Deputy Mayor?
I'm putting out my resume now.
OMB? For Mr. Ramadan?
I'm going to Staples to get resume paper.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, why are you trying to go OMB job for office managerial budget? OMB.
I got to print out my resume, man.
Nah, you don't need a resume. You're the biggest supporter for Ramadani. You should get a job at OMB versus Lander. But okay, I know you're gonna win, so take care, all right? I know you're gonna win, all right? Take care. So that's Brandon right there. So so yeah, he's going for OMB. Yeah, I mean, like I said, like him or Lander's gonna be OMB. One of those two go for OMB. It's kind of like a hot ass day. So fucking morning time, just kind of that's why I got put my Wi-Fi off, because city council Wi-Fi is like really like it could be kind of possessed, and that could fuck up. You don't take, here's the thing, like you So yeah, like I said, it's just kind of like a long ass day. Just want to walk around, like I said, Brandon early out in the morning. So yeah, like I said, it's just a long ass day. It's fucking hit by a fucking pole. Just Fucking hilarious. It's like 9:40 in the morning, guys. Then ran in, and it's cheap. Yeah, so yeah, Staples right. So yeah, it's just a long ass day. And by the way, you got the Department of Buildings right there. You got federal building right there. So let me go back. Sorry about this. So distracted with Brandon. That's about what I was doing. I got a fucking chicken on my head off. So yeah. Yeah. Hello. So yeah, back here. I mean, just 11 o'clock. There's gonna be a hearing with Oh wait. Yeah, that was let me delete that video. Today at 13. So like I said, I think at 11 o'clock they have this rally and shit. But and by the yeah, Brad just don't like black business because like I said, like this thing with fucking Chris Banks. Chris is my guy. I love Chris because Chris tries his best to serve his own district. He's not the type of guy that not like said like these other fucking they just try to serve. They try to be the clout chasers and shit. But Chris Banks tries best to serve everybody. I love Chris because that's my guy. He tries best to do the right thing, and the about Brad Lander is very soon, I think. But this is what's happening over in East New York, right? And this is what's happening in East New York, right? So East New York, over there is by Canarsie. And over there is like a little bit down that area. It's like, I think that's near, like, you walk all the way down, it's like a fucking pier. It's like a little pier. And they got these little affordable housing complexes. So over there's a lot of affordable housing over there and all this type of shit. So what's happening, and I'm not surprised that Brad is doing this crap, is that very soon, through the help of the Flazzi, they're going to try to put a network. They advocating for a network of New York City ferry stops around that area. So who do you think New York City ferry is going to be suable for? It's for those little gentrifiers. And because of that, those gentrifiers know that they don't want those businesses around them. So what Brad's trying to do is try to run those businesses out to really smooth the way for the New York City ferry to really start opening up their spots over there. It's just a lot of gentrification that they want to do over there. But the thing about it is that it's a lot of those, the black base is basically in Brownsville, East New York. It's not going to really work. But Brad is just doing what he got to do to appease his little, his base. And it's what it is. Oh, wait. So yeah, at the end of the day, it's 2026, 2025 right now. I'm a little tired and bored. It's hot. Really baking ass out here. So Yeah, people clean up the parks. Look at this, really? They do it the same day that Eric is having his press conference at 1 o'clock. You know, I see this shit. And they getting ready. I don't think it's gonna work. They gonna pull the shit out of here. It's fucking crazy. You know, this is yours, bro? This is yours? Oh, that's a bit, I don't know what they gonna do. That's not gonna work. But they gonna take that shit out. The cops are assholes. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to log off and take care.